Joining me now live is research fellow at the Thomas A. Rowe Institute for Economic Policy Studies, senior advisor at the Free Enterprise Initiative at the Heritage Foundation, Allen Mendenhall. And there he is, Dr. Peter Morici, economist and professor of business at the University of Maryland. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Peter, I'd like to start with you. The fact that we have a new oil refinery in America for the first time in 50 years, as these prices bounce around, isn't it a good thing that American...
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that we're producing more energy. Otherwise, right now, we might be in a real pickle.
No, it's a big deal. The reality is we're exporting more oil than we import, but we still import refined products. Having additional refining capacity limits that vulnerability. So I think this is a very important breakthrough, and it's the kind of thing we need. You know, there's so many areas where we're still vulnerable with regard to the Persian Gulf, you know, in helium, aluminum, fertilizer, and so forth. And we need to rebuild those capacities so to supply U.S. industries so that they are insulated from this turbulence in the international economy and global political situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Allen, I want to bring you into this conversation. What's your perspective? Because, you know, a couple of days ago, if you were on X or anywhere, you know, Sunday night, you know, Jim Cramer of CNBC was claiming we were about to have $200 a barrel oil, which was obviously hysterical. And there's a whole Twitter account, Inverse Cramer, where he says one thing and you do the other and you make a whole lot of money. But Allen, what's your sense about how things have calmed down? And in all seriousness, what's the road ahead for our consumer, our viewers right now?
Well, I think the point about energy independence is well taken. We need to diversify our energy mix. We need to produce more oil and energy here at home. That means speeding up permitting, speeding up drilling, modernizing pipelines, all these kinds of things. And it's really, really important. We saw what happened under the Biden administration. That was a great fact you pointed out about the price of gas during Biden's administration. I think in June 2022, the price of gas was over $5 and inflation was at 9.1%.
Yeah,
so
people forget
maybe gas prices are $3.50 a gallon now, but it's been much worse. Now, one thing that I find missing in the conversation right now is Venezuela. So, you know, Iran has the third largest oil reserves in the world, but Venezuela has like the largest, and it's about 20% of global oil reserves. And we have a very new dynamic over there. So I foresee some sort of Western Hemisphere reorientation where exports from Venezuela go more to people like us.
Yeah, got it. All right, I think we lost your connection there. I wanted to bring in... Okay, we lost your connection there. It's going in and out. So let's go to Peter. Peter, your thoughts about the stock market right now? That's been bouncing all around. People want to know how their 401ks are going to be doing. We had you on at the beginning of the year, and you were talking about where you thought the S&P was headed. We got a different situation right now because of this war in Iran. So what's your forecast now? Because obviously I know the stock market's not the economy. It's just kind of out there as a barometer of part of the economy. Well, what do you think is the big picture?
Well, I think if the economy goes well, the stock market goes well. Corporate profits continue to rise. American companies are very healthy. They're much more agile than governments at adapting to, you know, international circumstances. And American companies are very good at making money abroad. About 50% of their profits on the S&P 500, which is 80% of the U.S. economy, are made abroad. So my feeling is that what we need to do is to stabilize the international environment. The incursion in Iran or the conflagration with Iran is probably useful in this regard. I mean, short term, there's problems with fertilizer, aluminum, helium, and so forth. But longer term, we need to deal with these threats to stability. Donald Trump's doing that. With that done, the stock market will go well.
Yeah. Allen, your thoughts on that? Because, you know, the president likes to talk about setting all kinds of new record highs. And for a time there, you know, he had a lot to boast about. It's been on a wild ride now. And I think people are trying to make sense of what's happening now, but maybe most importantly for the Republicans, what's going to happen between now and November? Allen?
Had historic highs. We had the S&P at 7,000 in January. We had the Dow hit 50,000 last month. So, yeah, I mean, of course, markets are going to be unstable when there's military conflict and you're dealing with, the Strait of Hormuz closing where 20% of the world's oil passes through. So, we're going to have some instability now, but long term, the markets generally grow. And again, if they're down from record highs. All of this is going to be very important in the midterms because I think with the jobs report information that came out, data that came out, that wasn't great. And we have this weird sort of situation where the economy is proving very strong, but the jobs necessarily aren't reflecting that. So there's an interesting mismatch there.
Yeah. Peter, did you want to make a final point? Go ahead.
I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. The reason being is that the reason the jobs report have gone down is we don't have so many immigrants entering the labor force. But the reality is we are employing the Americans that want to work. We're nearly at the peak of Americans in the prime working age as a share of employed as the share of the total being very, very high. So I think that we're doing pretty well when it comes to employment, and we'll continue to do well. It's a matter of just seeing this through. If we finish the war properly, if we do what we need to do, America will be fine.
Got it. All right, Peter, Allen, we got a lot of optimism tonight. I'd like to hear it. We'll get you back soon and do a little follow up in a few weeks. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.